Hi, YouTube. Welcome on in. I am always excited for ReZero, and I always love doing these like deep dives into ReZero as much as possible. There are a lot of people that don't like the deep conversations of it, and that's okay. You guys have your reactors that you go and watch, and the emoji face. Go to them. They're awesome. They're great. They're phenomenal people. But if you guys really want a discussion about ReZero, and you guys really want to come on through and say, hey, let's go ahead and like do a deep dive into like thoughts and patterns and 1001 things, then you're in the right place. This is where it's at. What up, fam? Welcome on through. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, it would mean the world, especially if you like some of the previous content. Leave a like, comment. It helps spread the word of this, and then share this around, right? Like, subscribe, that whole ordeal. It means a lot, especially with all the changes that are coming onto Twitch, which I want to be very upfront with you. I just had a full conversation with Twitch chat here. Uh, Twitch is going to limit our capability of storing VODs and all of that stuff, which means you guys got to be here on Fridays. Otherwise, you guys won't be able to see the ReZero episode through the highlights and or VODs channels. We'll try to get them up as quickly as possible over to YouTube. But nonetheless, if you guys are here, it's a once in a lifetime experience. You really get to go out and see all the behind the scenes and pretty much everything from beginning to end. Speaking of that, everything that we touch on here, if we touch on a random thing, you're like, you're a wizard. It's not because I'm a wizard by any form, shape, or form or capacity. I want you guys to cement this in. Don't say, oh, you're good at this. It's not me, it's the author. That's the key thing with this. The author has such a good grasp of the characters that they're able to write them in a realistic way where their behaviors and their patterns reflect similarly to a lot of, like, modern day psychology. And that's the key aspect, and that's the key thing with it, right? I always like, because some people really like to go ahead and pin the blame on me in some capacity, right? And like to be like, oh, well, your entire thing is predicting shit. No, it's not. My entire thing is looking about what's being presented through the director, through the cinematography, through whatever, and breaking it down through a psychological lens. Now, if I get some things right, awesome. But I've also gotten a fuck ton wrong. And people always have this like survivor bias where they're like, well, you've guessed all these things right. And I'm like, I'm not guessing them right. It's the authors have like foreshadowed them so beautifully that they were bound to come up in the same way where people when talking about trauma bring stuff up like from time to time and you're able to go and cast it out beforehand, right? So, so you're a wizard, Ed. You're a wizard, author, you're right. So I want to start off by let's touch on a character. I tend to do this for 100 girlfriends. Let's touch on a character. What character should we touch on today, chat? Psychoeducation moment here. Psychoeducation moment here. People are saying Emilia. People are saying Priscilla. I think we've done Emilia before in the past. Regulus. I'd like to touch on Priscilla. I'm sure you'd like to touch Priscilla, brother. Boom, roasted, brother. Anastasia Hoshin, Mimi, your favorite reader. I would also like to jump in there. Anastasia, why don't we go ahead? Ooh, I don't know much about Flugo, so it's not like we can really dive in deep. But why don't we jump in to Priscilla? Fuck it. And in turn, I guess we'll do her partner that we're seeing pop up here later. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to touch Priscilla. That sounds bad. I take that back. Oh no. No, someone. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to. Thank you, Cami. Don't clip that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a full breakdown of Priscilla here. We're going to go ahead and do this as psychoeducational opportunities to really showcase the deep dives that we try and go ahead and do. Chat, I need your help. I really need your help for these characters because ultimately, you guys are the lore keepers behind all of this, right? And by breaking down Priscilla, I don't mean like hearts in her eyes and whatever dojin you guys like out there. I really mean like psychologically making a little case study out of this and really being able to go ahead and understand a little bit more of the psyche of Priscilla, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why don't we start off as simple as this? Hey, you suggested that last time. Ladies and gentlemen, when we look at Priscilla, I want you guys to think about what is their attachment style. What is their attachment style? Do they have a secure attachment? Like, are they securely attached with individuals? Are they very anxiously attached, where they struggle to communicate their needs and they tend to act out when triggered in some capacity? Are they avoidant, dismissive, downplaying the importance of relationships, usually trying to be extremely self reliant, but can become more vulnerable when there's a big crisis? Or you can definitely see that their heart's in their sleeve whenever big situations are coming through. Are they avoidant, fearful? More dependent in relationships and avoidant, they're strongly fearing rejection, they have low self esteem, or they have high anxiety. Where would they be, ladies and gentlemen? They can't be secure and dismissive, right? Because then they wouldn't be secure. So therefore, they're not secure if you're putting secure and dismissive. They can be secure with some people, right? They can be secure with some people, but more than likely, right, they're working on themselves. So think about it like this, right? You can be, let's put dismissive over here, right? And then secure over here. If this is a spectrum, she can be working her way up the spectrum into a secure relationship status. She's neither here nor here, though. She's not at either end, but she can be working her way through from being dismissive to secure, depending on trauma and on actions and whatnot. So, chat, would you agree that she is somewhere in this middle line then? Yeah, ultimately, by the way, this is how we work things out. You guys ultimately are the ones that help enable this conversation to go and happen. Something positive saying yes, she's somewhere in the middle here. So we'll put it like that, right? So dismissive, secure. So ambivalent is the word that we're probably gonna go for. Ambivalent with dismissive and secure. Which ultimately means that at times she can downplay the importance of relationships. So downplay relationships. Middle, yeah. She got really annoyed when someone said she trusted also avoidant, fearful. That can be it as well. It's usually extremely self-reliant. And so on and so forth, right? Like we can keep building it out from there, but that's good enough. All right, coming on to the next one. These are the Jungian archetypes, right? Ultimately, let's focus in a little bit more on here. How does she present to the world? So let's look at Jung here. The good archetypes are usually the way that we try to present out to the world, and the shadow archetypes are usually the things that like we are insecure about in ourselves, right? Or others might look at us and be like, wow, like you're not a good ruler, you're a tyrant, right? So which one would you guys say it is? Is it ruler villain, ruler victim, ruler elitist, ruler trickster, ruler tyrant, ruler for sure? So ruler for the good, ruler tyrant. People keep saying ruler tyrant. Would you guys agree with that? Ruler elitist. Ooh, okay, that's the first one. Um, ruler tyrant or ruler elitist, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, the clearer that we get with this, the more that we can go ahead and take a better outlook, better everything in it. You'd say elitist. Okay. So you're saying ruler elitist. If that's the case, is the main insecurity knowledge or control? What is the main insecurity? The main thing that she's working through? Is it the fact that she's trying to control a situation or have control over others, her environment, so on and so forth, so that, like, let's say in a ruler capacity, people don't have to go ahead and suffer? Or does she want all the knowledge to be able to help people in that same capacity, but at the same time can be used negatively? Ooh. And now we have our innovation, our little tug and pull. Control sounds right. Abundant confidence in her control. But even if it's abundant confidence in her control, right? Everything in the world is for my convenience, so maybe control. I would probably say control as well. So you guys can make your own from here, by the way. If you guys think it's one or the other, feel free, you know. So So main aspect of things is control. Also destroyer. There can be multiple, by the way. There can absolutely be multiple. So for example, Sage Elitist, I would probably put with Echidna. As like one of the strong aspects, she doesn't seem to invoke control, but she seems to without her doing anything, which is still an aspect of control. PS4. The moment that you feel as though everything has to work in your favor, it's still like what would happen if nothing did work in her favor, right? All of a sudden, we're more than likely going to go ahead and see her dismissive side come out, right? And so on and so forth. So that's how you guys gotta be thinking about this as well. So for Echidna, would you guys see Sage and Elitist? I know I'm jumping characters, but like just so that you guys are aware of like what would Echidna Sage Creator? It could be Sage Creator, with innovation being at the brink there, or what about lack of knowledge for Echidna in that as well, right? Yep. Because knowledge would be the pain point for her. So this is a way that you can start thinking about some of these characters and some of the tension points that you guys might see coming out of this, right? Which is absolutely powerful. All right, let's jump into the next one. We're about to get this is about to get wild, and I might have the ReZero community coming after me. For this victim, this sense of power and control. This power and control wheel is usually used for individuals of domestic violence, survivor, whatnot. Has she used any of the following with anyone? Coercion and threats. Making and or carrying out, by the way, that says male privilege, but it can be any form of privilege. It doesn't have to be male privilege. I don't know, it's usually done for that way, but it's using privilege. Ignore here, I think I have a better wheel. Hold on, because this is specific towards that. Here we go. Here's a better one. Bam. Better one. Okay, using harmful language, playing mind games, humiliating someone, making someone feel insecure, making someone feel guilty, using intimidation, physical violence, using social standing, using technology, using intimidation, minimizing, denying, blaming, using threats, exclusion, sexual coercion, which can include, in case you guys are wondering, well, what does sexual coercion include? Hey, if you're forced to do any of these, even vanilla acts, that's a sexual coercion. Hey, you want my power? You know what you have to do. We've seen her making someone lick her feet. Yeah, hey, you guys, stop. I'm trying to go ahead and ground this in this, right? Kiss my feet, lick my feet, Priscilla. Yeah, absolutely. I forgot, it was like pedagogy. I forgot the name of what it actually is for feet stuff. But yes, feet stuff is a very, very real thing in here. And it's something worth talking about, right? And I say would. So, yes. Power and control wheel. Which is interesting. We're saying yes to this power and control wheel, ladies and gentlemen. I want you guys to go ahead and conceptualize this for a second. We were talking about control earlier, right? About how ruler tyrant might be one of the big ones, as well as like ruler elitist, and yet it's coming up again with her having an absolute yes in the full power and control wheel that is present there. Yes, she has the entire power and control wheel. And this is something I want to highlight. Just because someone's doing this, right? Are they doing it because, oh yeah, they're just evil, or are they doing it because they have trauma? And that's something worth conceptualizing it. For example, if we're to look at Priscilla, right, and we just found out, we're going through, we did their attachment style, their Jungian archetypes, the power and control wheel, and we're finding out that control seems to be a big factor. Is this something that innately came from her, or does this come from a lot of trauma that may have capitulated in the past? Is this something that comes, say, from past relationships or from people around her where she saw like a lack of something, right? A lack of movement on her end ended up other people getting hurt. Because you gotta remember, nothing comes from nothing. Usually something comes from something. And in this regard, usually trauma and events cause us to go ahead and put up our defenses and do certain things. Anyway, all right. Perfect. Here we go. Now we're looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs for Priscilla, right? And I love that some people are like, you're not watching the episode, I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I don't give a fuck, right? This is what it's about. This is what this channel's for. her environment shaped her to be the person. Absolutely, it could 100% be something positive. Where is she in this triangle? For example, at this moment, does she have food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, excretion? What would be deemed normal, right? Unless you already have that aspect met, right? Does she have security of body, employment, resources, family, health? Does she have good friendships that are not paid for? Does she have friendships that are not paid for? Or that it's not like a contract or, some type of thing from that? I don't know about family and friendships. Mm, mm. Some are saying red. So it doesn't appear like it for now. She even said she doesn't trust Al either. Yep. 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 She is the stands alone type of person. Um, she seems to have no family, no relationships. I mean, we can even go further, right? For me personally, I would probably start thinking compared to the other individuals that we've seen here, right? Like Crush absolutely has friendships, right? You can definitely tell that people love and care for her in that capacity. Others, Anastasia, as much as I hate to say it, she probably has a fuck ton of connections everywhere in like actual friendship manner, and or market manner, maybe, I don't know. Emilia has friends, all of these people. But for Priscilla, is it friends? Is it transactional? Or is it Maybelline? I don't. Maybe it's Maybelline, ladies and gentlemen. Lillianna seems like a friend, but like that's the main element, right? Maybe she's born with it. She has very little friendships to begin with, so I would consider that probably a little pain point. What about family? What about family, guys? Does she have a healthy family? Does she have no trauma, no immediate trauma in the family sector? Who is her family? Absolutely. So for me, I like personally, because there's a lot of questions that I have, and especially with the esteems, the overconfidence, the whatever, like because you can have aspects of the triangle above, right? That doesn't. However, for me, the main pain point that I'm seeing is probably either the green area a little bit more than the others. So I would probably put love and belonging. Love and belonging. And this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Man, we're really going through this, huh? This is probably a deeper dive than what most people decide to go ahead and go through. All right, hold on. Yeah, it was all minus the green, and that's a key thing there. Is we're not all always going to have everything, right? Let me see. Okay, that's not it. That's where's it at? Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're into Erickson's psychosocial stages, right? These are key events, key milestones that we need to go ahead and meet as individuals growing up through, through our childhood and even through adulthood. Now, we don't necessarily have to meet all of them, and sometimes we struggle with some of them. And as adults, we tend to go back and try and fix them. Hence why we try and go ahead and be healthy, right? But let's go ahead and jump into this. What is her key questions that she's asking in here? And where is she at, right? So she's around 20, right? So let's ask this. Is my world safe? Can I do things by myself or need I rely on others? Am I good or bad? Hmm. How can I be good? Who am I and where am I going? Am I loved and wanted? The important events: feeding and comfort, toilet training, dressing, exploration, play, school activities, social relationship and identity, intimate relationships. The outcomes or basic conflicts: trust and mistrust, autonomy, shame and doubt, initiative and guilt, industry and inferiority, identity and role confusion, and intimacy and isolation. Huh. I wonder if so. Well, hold on. I'm going to ask this question. Young adults need to form intimate, loving relationships with other people. Success leads to strong relationship, while failure results in loneliness and isolation. I think she might have trauma as a young adult. I think that she definitely has trauma in the love sector, because we haven't really seen any form of partnership or any form of like, oh, you know what, like I already have this, or this is my partner, or so on and so forth, right? We always see her in that aspect where like it's very transactional, the relationships that she does have, right? Yeah, like that's the main thing that I'm when I'm looking at this, I'm like, loneliness and isolation might be a big aspect, and there might be some big trauma in here. So this is Erickson psychosocial stages. Intimacy versus isolation is the first one I see. Next one. Teens need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self. I think that she understands or she knows about herself. I think that she's very aware of herself, but I don't know if that awareness is a role that she's playing up to not let people feel fear in some capacity. That's where my brain is always at with Priscilla, because she is wild in some of her moves, right? But she seems very self-assured in what she's doing, that it makes me believe that it's not necessarily yeah, or at least projects it. Exactly. Okay, next one. Children need to cope with new social and academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failure results in feelings of inferiority. I don't know about that one, right? I don't know about that one. I think that she's able to go ahead and meet a lot of social and academic demands. She's very confident. Children need to begin asserting control and power over their environment. Success in this state leads to a sense of purpose. Children who try to exert too much power experience disapproval, resulting in a sense of guilt. No, she'll exert all of her power if she needs to. Children need to develop a sense of personal control over physical skills and a sense of independence. Success leads to autonomy, while failure results in feelings of shame and doubt. Children need to develop a sense of trust when caregivers provide reliability, care, and affection. A lack of this will lead to mistrust. Why does she want to rule? Does she have a purpose? That's a really good question. So, ladies and gentlemen, now after reading those, what do you guys think? Is there another one? Is there another basic conflict that you're seeing in here that definitely screams Priscilla? Maybe she failed infancy. Trust versus mistrust, about like trusting people. You have to remember, sometimes social standards and whatnot as a young kid, little things like your parents not coming to check on you when you're crying, right? Or giving you the aspects of like feeling, is my world safe? Yep. Okay. Trust versus mistrust. Like, and that's something that has to be continued to be given as you grow up, right? So now I want you guys to conceptualize something real quick. What is the key thing between trust and mistrust? There's a key line in here, and it's conceptualizing everything all together. It's fucking big. It's huge, and I hate to, I like to use layman's terms because this is how the people around me speak, right? But if I have to speak professionally, like I've done at the conference, at the national conferences, I will. Vulnerability. And what is vulnerability? Vulnerability, in a big sense, is how much you allow people in to hurt you. Trust and the control of that. That is the layers of trust versus mistrust. If you allow a person in while you're vulnerable, right, it's because you've allowed them a certain control in that vulnerable space. Yep. So all of a sudden, trusting and giving control. Yeah. Intimacy versus isolation. Guess what? If you're intimate, you might have to trust that person. That's control. That's vulnerability. That's scary, because that means that people can see you and people can hurt you. Oh, well, what is Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Love and belonging, that you guys have pointed out as well, which is trust and mistrust, intimacy and isolation, which means the power and control wheel more than likely has to do with love and belonging and this sort of aspects, where more than likely something happened inside of this that allowed or made some sort of intimacy, isolation, or trust and mistrust inside of a relationship to come through and hurt, and or pain points come through that affected her love and belonging, that made her go ahead and reevaluate what this control means inside of her own environmental circle, right? I.e., she started implementing all of these things to maybe keep these things in control. Hence why her archetypes tend to be ruler and control inside of that, and hence why she tends to go from dismissive to all of a sudden secure, from one side to the other, right? And same thing that we see here, from trusting to mistrust, from intimacy, maybe trying to be intimate, to all of a sudden being isolationism altogether, right? All of a sudden, we're looking at all of this. Is this tracking through for you? Because for me, this is conceptualizing Priscilla as someone that's probably been hurt a lot, somebody that really might love people, might genuinely care about people, but has been hurt so much that she has to go ahead and resort to this power and control wheel, like a facade type of thing, where yes, she does have to go ahead and be a ruler or whatnot to give other people trust in a way, but at the same time not allowing herself to go ahead and be there. And it kind of makes me wonder, for a character like this, is this going to be her downfall? Now, and we'll continue, there's still more to hit on, but is this going to be her downfall, i.e., maybe in a big way trying to go ahead and be there for people, be there for others, and maybe doing the ultimate sacrifice in a way? Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this character is a tragic character who has to go ahead and understand what love and belonging is. And even if other people may not view her completely or may love her, does she love herself? And then does she love herself enough to be vulnerable and risk it all for others? I'm looking at this. I don't know if you guys see it, but I'm looking at someone like this, and this is screaming, "Hey, we need therapy, Priscilla. We need to get you in. We need to have a conversation about all of this." Sorry, that I might be overcooking here. I might be way fucking wrong. I might be, but this is just things that, like, you guys are pointing out as well, right? Could she love herself too much? So absolutely, absolutely. So, jumping into that, if you go into Brofenbrenner's ecological theory, right? The booba. Brofenbrenner's ecological theory. Bet. Otherwise known as bet. If we put Priscilla in the middle, what is she impacting? Does she, like, how does she impact her home? How does she or her home impact her? How does, like, like, as you start going out, right, and you start going into the microsystem, the immediacy of the people around her, Al, so on and so forth, how do her actions carry consequences for them, and how do their actions carry consequences for her, right? How does this go out and go back in? Macro system. Going into the mesosystem, right? How does this go ahead and impact the greater country at large as we start going into the exo and macro system? Like, all of the actions that she has at this current moment in time, if she were to go ahead and team up with Al and decide to destroy a village or something, right? Otto has explained that her actions has made her be revered as a sun princess. Right. So then a lot of her own actions carry weight and impact macroly, like the macro system, because of the social standing that she has, because of how she is as an individual. Her words, her actions make a ripple effect that go all the way through. Next one. I know, guys, I know this is taking a hot minute, but I hope you guys are okay with this, and I hope that you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because this is giving me a complete, like, look and kind of a bigger breakdown for the character, more so than just, like, quickly getting a 20-minute episode of, like, maybe that being 3 or 2 minutes of Priscilla, right? We're, like, actually sitting down and talking about the character, bring something up. So, what are her cognitive distortions? Hi, KJ. How you doing? Welcome on in. What are her cognitive distortions look like, right? Does she have polarized thinking, which is let's say that she tries to go ahead and do something phenomenal, but instead of like somebody giving her an A plus, she gets an A minus, and she feels like a failure because she only needs to get A plus things. If I'm not successful at everything I do, I'm a complete failure. Does she have mental filtering? Negatively, which is she receives a good performance review but only focuses on the negative comments made. Does she disqualify the positive, where all of a sudden she might do something really good but overlooks it and tries to explain their work or whatnot as simple fluke or luck? Does she overgeneralize? She gets a really bad performance review on one thing and thinks that they're a stupid and a failure. I don't think that overgeneralization cannot necessarily be something. Does she jump to conclusions? Where a friend you're spending time with is distracted or interested, and you jump to conclusions that it has to do with you, or fortune telling, where you have a date and you predict that it's going to go bad, and you make assumptions about the date before it has even occurred. Does she magnify? A person's lunch date is running late and assumes the worst. The worries escalate quickly and thoughts become exaggerated. Does she minimize? Where she might win an award, but she doesn't acknowledge the accomplishments. It's whatever. I'm already the ruler of this world. Don't matter. Does she personalize it, or does she blame? Ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think? Everyone, not everyone, but most people are always dealing with one in some capacity. It doesn't have to be to an extreme, but definitely to some capacity, right? Be over positive. Exactly. Fortune telling can also be positive, not just negative, right? Where it's like everything will work around me. There's going to be no issues whatsoever because I am the ruler. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me numbers. What numbers are there? So that way I'm able to go ahead and rate it accordingly. Drop down what numbers you think they are, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you've already done them in the past, that way I'm able to go ahead and do them. 3 and 4 says something 4, but I think 6 too. So 3. A lot of people are saying cognitive distortion. 3, 4, 6 is what I'm seeing a lot. No, maybe 4. Luster says 1. Yeah, I mean 1, 3, and 4. People are saying 1, 3, and 4. They're all up there. Okay, I put 3, 4, 6, 1. How we have our cognitive distortions is how we filter the world, and that just starts carrying everything up. As soon as we start thinking about this, polarized thinking, is it going to be easier or harder for her to make connections when she's overgeneralizing or jumping to conclusions in some capacity? Is it going to be easier or harder to maintain friendships or whatnot, right? Or is she just living in Delulu land? Like that's the main concepts, the main things to go ahead and take into consideration for that. Doing it. We're doing it. Her defense mechanisms. Defense mechanisms. Are her assumptions wrong so far? Well, a person like delusion in general doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong, right? It just means that they're living in a state where of either grandiosity or a state which is a huge symptom, right, altogether, or a state where you completely and utterly believe something without facts being there, right? There might be some confirmation bias because she thinks the world works in her favor, right? These are defense mechanisms. We all have them to some capacity, but what are hers? For example, reaction formation being, oh, okay, I'm not going to help you, but internally you're like, I want to help you, right? Sublimation, turning socially unacceptable urges into socially acceptable ones. Compensation or substitution, trying to make up for areas which lack the. What do you guys think? There are a couple in here. Reaction formation, big one. Defense mechanisms. Sublimation, okay. Sublimate. Perfect. And we've run out of whiteboard space, ladies and gentlemen, which brings us, unfortunately, to the end of this analysis where we maybe displacement. We're now looking at all of this. Does this put it into perspective for you? Yeah, it could be displacement as well. Does this put the character a little bit more into perspective for you? Because for me, it's like all of a sudden, a lot of the issues that we have been touching on have literally circled around an aspect of control for me, right? And for me, that screams like, somebody looking at this, like, where has control been lost in your life? Like, where was the control taken from you, right? And what does it mean to give an aspect of control to others? That's what it looks like whenever we're breaking down a character and we're like, this is this type of stuff that I usually think of, like hindsight, right? Or like, in the back of my mind, I'm keeping as we're watching a character, we're seeing a character evolve, and it's like, this is the authority of psychology. Like, this straight up is able to go ahead and really start shaping why a character is doing what they do, why a character is taking action the way that they are. And even more so, for example, if we were to touch on all this from probably 20 minutes of total screen time as well. Exactly. Exactly. So I hope that this helps in terms of like being able to go and solidify Priscilla as a more realistic character. Because I've seen people with all of this. Have you guys seen someone that is either very dismissive or very secure in their life? Somebody that like is very like, I don't want to talk to you. And then maybe they're like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I have. Yep. Have you seen somebody that like really struggles with control in their life? I have. Have you seen someone be really fucked up with others, right? In some way, shape, or form, intimidate, whatnot on one hand, and then on the other hand, try and be loving to them. Yep, I have. Have you guys seen somebody struggle with love and really belonging to a friend group? Yep. Have you seen people struggle with trust and mistrust, and or either being alone or being intimate? I have. Have you seen people that whose actions really do carry a lot of weight and they don't even know it, or they might know it, but nonetheless, anything that they do really goes through and impacts others? Yep. Have you seen people with cognitive distortions like that? All of this, all of this highlights that at some point in time we have seen and we have interacted with individuals that have had this. But imagine someone just living this day in, day out. Someone living through whatever trauma may have been happening, through whatever and anything and everything that's going on, and their whole worldview is filtered through this lens. This is their worldview. When you're feeding them information, they're feeding it's going up and down this in like a millisecond in their subconscious and unconscious mind. Because all of a sudden they have to go ahead and find out, number one, how can they be safe? Is it trust or mistrust? Are you a secure attachment, or does she have to be dismissive? Where do you fit into her schema? Where do you fit into her worldview? And even past that, why or what is control, and why is control important for her? This is an awesome way of breaking down a character. This is a phenomenal way of taking in a deep dive into a character where most people are just gonna glaze it over and just be like, oh my god, she's so hot, fucking booba, right? So on and so forth. But Priscilla as a character is a very tragic character, is somebody that's clearly been hurt, is somebody that's clearly gone through a lot of damage, and clearly is having trust and mistrust issues, and is trying to go ahead and get control in her life. Even if it's faking it by making it, or really believing that like the world has to revolve around her in some capacity. In a nutshell, this is what we know about Priscilla right now. I hope this helps, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys like this sort of thing, because then all right, I want to do one more. Sorry. Very good discussion. So we talked about Priscilla. What about Lillianna? She, we know even less on. I might have spelled it wrong. That's fine. Well, they're both fighting, what is it, wrath at the moment? Or as Crunchyroll puts it, lust. What about Lillianna, ladies and gentlemen? Why is she a singer? Think stress. That's the first question that comes to mind whenever we're developing a character. Why is she a seamstress? Ladies and gentlemen, usually, I hate to put it this way, and this comes from, you guys can look it up, there's a lot of amazing peer-reviewed research articles whenever it comes to the arts. What is her legacy? I'm gonna throw out there a question, right? We're gonna go do the full deep dive into this, right? The songs from her family, but what is her legacy? The songs of her family are the songs from her family, but what is her legacy? and chat goes silent. As a creator, as an like whatnot, everyone is doing something. Like I really love Metal Gear Solid 2 because it touches on this beautifully. Kojima Lord, Kojimbo, Koji God really touch on the big aspect that's to like why do we create? What are we doing here? 101 things. If you guys haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2, it was way ahead of its time. Go play it out, right? It talked about meme scenes and genes, and more specifically, what we leave behind, right? So I guess I'm gonna ask this question. Yes, we're doing the full deep dive in this as well. Her way of life, maybe. Okay. So then, what is it, ladies and gentlemen? Is her legacy going to be memes, genes, or scenes? Is her legacy going to be little moments that you can go ahead and take a snapshot of, in which she's going to be known for a fragment or a memento of her area? Is it going to be genes, right? In the aspect of like passing someone on, or is it going to be scenes, which is more of an internal form of legacy of actually trying to go ahead and feel content with your life with whatever it's being given? Is it memes, genes, or scenes? I would say memes. Mementos. Because a memento is a song. Scenes. Personalized. Maybe not really important personal history. Genes. Family. I mean, bards tend to convey history, so memes can be songs. What does the fox say? Ding 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 ding. Right, whatever the that's all memes, bro. That's all memes. And what does that mean? Go into the legacy of a seamstress of Lillianna. 2010 jump scare. Exactly. So the main element that I'm trying to highlight here, and especially for Lillianna, is we're talking about being a seamstress. Why? Is it due to legacy? If it is due to legacy, then is one of the big things being songs. And even from that comes in the main element. What sort of song? And why is that going to be a meme? And how does this impact the legacy for her as the seamstress? Anyway, was that Darude Sandstorm? It was. Let's jump right into it. What is her attachment style? Holy shit. Holy shit. We're going in deep, boys. We're going in deep. Anxious, has a sensitive nervous system, struggle to communicate needs directly, tends to act out when triggered. Hella anxious. Ansiosa. Anxious attachment style. Okay, that's pretty good. You guys are getting quicker at it. I'm proud of you guys. Good stuff. What is her? No, I'm late. What is her Maslow's hierarchy of needs, ladies and gentlemen? Avoidant fearful, says you. Okay, might be ambivalent. Where's she at? The green, the red, the purple. Where's she at as a creator, as an individual? You'd say she's struggling. Does she have a home? Does she have family? Where are her friends? Where are her family, actually? Even speaking of that. People are saying love and belonging. Okay. Love and belonging. Now I have a question for you. Oh, fuck. Now I have a question for you. Because now you guys have triggered something hard in me. You guys have triggered something hard in me. By the way, I spelled this wrong. What the fuck? I swear I'm not tipsy like I was yesterday. If she's anxious and love and belonging are a big thing, if we already pointed that her job is a signature to their legacy, what the fuck happened with a family? What happened with their family? Something major must have happened with love and belonging, and specifically as family has to go ahead and, as a child, because she's still a child, right? Helps individuals start to go ahead and fit in. If there is a disruption in the family unit or the family dynamics isn't set correctly, Usually anxious attachment styles or anxious fearful attachment styles tend to go ahead and develop, where all of a sudden people might put more effort into their hobbies, into 1,001 other things, and deal with the circumstances that may be affecting a family dynamics. She's 24, 22. Well, even as a kid, right? Because my main thing is a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxious adults didn't just suddenly become anxious adults. They started off as anxious kids, which more than likely stemmed from the same reason that they're trying to work through. Lillianna is older than Priscilla. Can confirm. A lot of it came from childhood. Right. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what the fuck is happening there? Sorry. It's either going to be friendship, family, or sexual intimacy, or might be a value of all three if you're saying that love and belonging is the biggest aspect of her hierarchy of needs. And if that's the case, this anxious attachment style mixed in with all of this, maybe it even produces furthermore into what it means to go ahead and leave a legacy if this is her. Wait, if she's anxious and love and belonging are her hierarchy of needs, which pushes a big aspect of legacy of being known, and even it has an impact of family in here, no wonder that we're not seeing this maybe as a priority, because if this led to anxiety and led to her struggling with love and belonging, then she wouldn't necessarily want to go ahead and go through in a system that would go ahead and self-feed into this aspect of anxiety. Or maybe this is where the disruption is, where more than likely the disruption comes in. Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. Where more than likely the disruption comes in with them not actually being able to connect with family in the way to resolve this anxiety. I don't know, but I'm just looking at this chart and it's making a little bit more sense as to why we're going with memes for songs being a part of her legacy instead of genes and family, right? Is her height genetic? Sorry, we'll continue. Apologies. I'm probably overcooking here. I'm just looking at this thing, and as we're going through it, it's all coming out, right? All right. Next one. Power and control wheel. No, it's good. It's good. Power and control wheel. Does she do any of the following, or is she subject to any of the following? Does she use this, or is she subject to? Subject. You guys are saying subject. Okay, so power and control. Which guess what? Which guess what? If she's subject to this, if you guys are saying, nah, she doesn't really use this, right? She's more being the victim, not really a victim, but like subjected to a lot of these things more so than she does them. I want you guys to put it in together. If she's a subject of power and control, that means that she's not really using this to hurt anybody else, but other people are using it on her, which again, which again, which again, which you know, oh, that's I'm over here just like brain blasting, brother. Holy shit. Okay, we're going through it quickly. The next one. Where's she at? And by the way, I'm speed running through this a little bit more than Priscilla's one because we've already touched on a lot of the elements. So we don't necessarily have to go through and reread everything, but we can touch on certain elements with that, right? The self-sustaining anxiety machine. Right. So where is she at? Young adult at the moment. Right. But it like where do you think her major basic conflict was in terms of like where did her trauma do you guys think stem from? Identity role, do you guys we can even go a step further, will I provide something of real value? If when people go forward than that, like usually longer than that, it's because of some sort of trauma that may have happened. Adult needs to create or nurture things that will outlast them, often by having children or creating a positive change in the benefits of others. Success leads to accomplishment, usefulness, and accomplishment, while failure results in shallow involvement in the world. Adolescence, okay. Who am I and where am I going? Teens need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self. Uh, maybe preschool. Okay. Children need to begin asserting control and power over the environment. Success in this state leads to a sense of purpose. Children who try to exert too much power experience disapproval, resulting in guilt. Some are saying early childhood autonomy failure results in feelings of shame and doubt. Can I do things by myself or need I rely on others? Autonomy versus shame. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. KJ, thanks so much for the hydrate. I appreciate it. So, list them out, ladies and gentlemen. Which one is it? Which one is it, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. Here's one. Older adults need to look back on life and feel a sense of fulfillment. Success at this state leads to a feeling of wisdom, while failure results in regret, bitterness, and despair. Have I lived a full life? Will I provide us something of real value? Young adult, early childhood, and adolescence, or young adult? Adolescence. Adolescent, okay. Erickson. Psychosocial stages. Young adult. Slash adolescence. Boom. My God. If that's the case, then all of a sudden we're looking at this and we're looking as okay, if there were adolescents, social relationships and identity, 12 to 18 tends to be for a lot of individuals some of the most anxious filled years, right? And if they're in a state of role confusion and a weak sense of self, and once again we start following this trend all the way through, guess what? We're falling into the same cycle that we got to ask ourselves, what is her legacy? Why the state of anxiety? Why the state of like, of adolescence being who am I and where am I going, and young adult also being am I loved and even wanted? Can I form intimate relationships with others and keep my social identity a subject there? Even though that oftentimes people subject me to cruel and weird instances that make me feel anxious, and I'm struggling to go ahead and feel loved and belonged again as a like in that aspect. Do I even fit in? Where is my family? Blah 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 blah. That's crazy. All right, next one. Cognitive distortions. Whew. Chat, I know. This is taking a while. What are her cognitive distortions? Chat, jumping right into it. I know we're cooking here. It's taking a little bit here, but we're cooking. 5, catastrophification, magnifying. 2, mental filtering. So cognitive distortions. 2, 5 is what I'm seeing a lot. Cool. Actually, I would agree. She might catastrophize, especially as a songstress. Guess what? She might go ahead and magnify it and or minimize the situation, right? Or she might filter things according to her perspectives. Absolutely. Jumping into the next one. Defense mechanisms. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final one here. And then I'm going to go ahead and ask the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, for defense mechanisms, what are her defense mechanisms that come through? And we can also go to the polyvagal theory. We can go to 1,001 things in it. But I really like just touching base and ending usually on defense mechanisms so we can conceptualize up from there. Reaction formation, regression. Does she tend to act like a little kid at times whenever a situation is getting too chaotic? Or whenever a situation might not necessarily go her way? Childlike patterns to deal with stressful situations. Oh no, ooh, I need my boinky. Oh, whatever, right? The sublimation, she does flail around quite a bit. Okay, so we got regression. What else? Reaction formation. Okay. Probably sublimation, some capacity or compensation. And that's pretty much it. She can put her words into her music. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask a question with this because this is triggering a question in me. Let me cook. Let's say that for whatever reason, I am the warlock or wizard of psychology, and I've come into the V0 world, and I'm like, doing my special power or whatnot, and I give Lillianna a choice, right? I gave Lillianna a choice because I'm looking at all this, and I'm very curious about what you guys think that her response would be in this. I told her, you have one of two choices. The first choice is you retain all your memories and everyone forgets about you. or you forget all your memories, but everyone keeps those memories from you. This goes to you guys as well. Which one would you pick and why? Would you rather retain all of your memories, but everyone else forget their memories of you? Or would you rather lose all your memories and everyone, or vice versa, whatever that may be for you? I know, I know. You guys are saying that you probably think she'd choose to forget her memories. Lose mine, I guess. We need people. Why so? That's a big question in that. It's just a thought exercise to put yourself into that, right? Anyway, when we're looking at this and we're looking at regressive patterns, uh, especially individuals that tend to go ahead and do so, it's usually from an anxious state. It's usually from childhood trauma. It's usually from individuals that have a lot of anxiety when they were growing up. Hence why you get a lot of people that like tend to go ahead and act out in early childhood and stuff like this. And we see people reverting to this regressive like state in order to go ahead and feel better. Considering that she's the subject of a power and control wheel, it wouldn't surprise me if this is sort of what happened when she was younger. People using intimidation tactics, people not caring about her, forgetting her, so on and so forth. Just probably a lot of trauma when she was younger for her to go ahead and start developing what we see her today, right? Where we see this anxious little being who's trying to go ahead and leave a legacy as a songstress, where memes and the songs tend to go ahead and take priority over everything else. My guess is probably going to be a familiar form of trauma, which has ended up causing a lot of these, like for example, in American psychosocial stages, we get the young adult and adolescence trauma being highlighted, right? And even with the cognitive distortions, we get a couple key cognitive distortions that are being highlighted, right? And why we see that reaction formation with the corona right here, and that sublimation being highlighted as key things for her motivation for her song, which once again feels into the seamstress, which once again fills into the legacy, and it just falls down the cycle over and over again. Does this make sense? Chat. But she also doesn't have a lot of connection. Yes. You're like, yes. Now comes in the question, would it go this way? I don't know. I don't know. But realistically and psychologically speaking, right? A person going through all of this, yeah, I've seen a lot of creators that have tried to leave a legacy not because they want to go and have kids or a personal history, but because they're trying to go ahead and leave a memento for the future. I've seen a lot of creators that really just want to go ahead and fit in, and a lot of people that just really want to feel love and fit in. I've seen a lot of people be the subject to toxic relationships and have extreme trauma in childhood that have affected them in some capacity. I've seen a lot of adults and young adults and adolescents struggle with their own image and what it means to be themselves, and what legacy they want to go and leave behind, their identity, their social roles. I've seen a lot of individuals that have these cognitive distortions that specifically affect them, like the mental filtering or catastrophizing situations, because that's the only way that they've learned to how to go out and deal with the world. I've seen a lot of people regress and use their art or whatnot to go ahead and be transformative in that regard. Ladies and gentlemen, Liliana, for a lot of people, she might be annoying, but for me, this is just like your everyday content creator that may have had a lot of shit going on in their childhood. And instead of dealing with whatever family dynamics may have happened, they're trying to go ahead and deal with it through their music and through their art. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope that this has helped you guys understand Liliana a little bit better. I hope that you guys like this little breakdown of the characters and just a little bit of a tad bit of an analysis. Trust me, when I say that we can go infinitely into a deeper and deeper analysis. Like I can start pulling out different tests. We can do 101 different tests out there. And be like, what does she like? How anxious? How anxious is she? Right? Are we talking about anxious to a point of like affecting their introversion, extroverted versions of themselves, like anxiety and what level, or family attachment dynamical powers, right? Like how attached are they? How so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, if this has helped, drop some Doritos, at least to understanding this character. Because I know a lot of people look at Priscilla and they're like, oh my God, Priscilla. And they look at Liliana and they're like, she's annoying, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope that this helps. I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way right here. We are an hour in, so we're gonna take a quick little break, go to the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack, and when we come back, we're jumping straight into the episode, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. You guys are fantastic. Oh God, I'll be right back. I'll be right back, guys. Welcome back, YouTube. Hi. Apologies for that. For us, it was just a couple minutes. We just needed to go ahead and jump in, use the restroom. We're close to 2 hours into like actual stream, an hour into this recording, an hour of just pure analysis. Hope you guys enjoyed that. For those of you guys that do, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatnot. It means a lot. It helps the channel out a ton, and you know, ultimately, that's sort of what helps us know the fact that we're doing a good job and that you guys are liking this sort of level of continuation. I really no, I really like. I really like the fact that like we're able to go ahead and do this and we're able to have these discussions in that regard. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, guys, let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's do it. Man, I'm so excited. Where's this going? Oh! Oh! Ah! She's so cute. Oh, okay. Even smaller Lillianna, the masquerade troupe. Backstory? Oh no! Oh no! Is that Mommy Liana? And how many people from this show am I allowed to adopt? Bro, is that Mom Liana? Or is that Sis Liana? Like, is that a sister? Is that is that a mom, brother? I don't know, but yep, Liliana Mama. Okay.
遠からん人は音に聞け、近い人は踊りもん見ろ。マスカレード一座、歌って奏でて踊ります。
Oh, you know, brother, I gotta join in, brother. Is that a brother? I gotta join in, brother. I gotta join in, brother. I'll pull out my fucking maracas too, brother. Oh, just because the band of Raw, that's so good. Cool song, really nice song. I mean, really nice song, but it makes me. Is this an OG song or is this a song that like comes because you know how a lot of music comes from like essentially like the past? Like a lot of music is like inspired and or ordained by the past. Like, is this a new song? Like something that this troupe created? Like a legend, right? Right. Like oral tradition, yeah. Well, and that's the main thing is a lot of people forget that oral tradition, right? How we pass down like stories and whatnot eventually started becoming into songs and different things like that, right? Who knows? It seems kind of general. Just like kick back and relax. Could be. Could be. Oh. Oh.
あの星とこの星をつなげるとちょうどギルティラーの牙の形に
Guilty Low's Fang.
ひらめきましたまだまだ諦めないギルティラーああ進む火の中水の中牙がある限り
わけわかんない歌歌ってないで早く寝る
You gotta look at the stars, man. The stars have all the secrets. Stop singing ridiculous songs and go to sleep. But mommy, Lillianna, like, please, mommy. I want to sing out here and sing with the stars even more.
明日の朝も早いよ
That's adorable.
Eh? なんで
でっかい町に商売は興行師が仕切っとうちは小さな村で気楽に歌うだけさ
Oh. Oh.
ねえねえお母さん次は牽制レードやろうよ
Raid the Master Swordsman. Who's Raid? Who's Raid? Chat. Who's Raid? Shadow Legends. Hi, in case you guys don't know, with over 5 million downloads in the Google Play Store, Raid Shadow Legends is sponsored. I didn't notice Rip. Pretty sure we know it's the name of Reinhardt's sword. Wait, if that's the name of Reinhardt's sword, then it's just a predecessor. Yes, I remember. I don't remember everything. So then, if this was a sword saint, what sword saint was he, and why is this important? You said against Elsa. I have questions. I have the first sword saint name. I have fucking questions. Maybe there's to answer. What the freak did you just say? We don't know. I have questions. I have a lot of questions. So I guess the first question that I have, rhetorically speaking, is why bring up this individual like this? Unless it's gonna be brought up in the future, right? Like you wouldn't bring up something without it being a plot point or a device going forward. And if this is something that's being highlighted right now, comes in my question: are we going to find out more about this individual? It's a Shakovian gun. It's a huge Shakovian gun that's being set right now, especially with the way that it's being delivered. Is this something that's going to be elaborated on in the future? And even past that, it gets oof. Oof. Extremely, he was very famous. I don't remember an anime, but an anime Reinhardt speaks about him before, so I would not say more. Oh, Crazy Umbra got to a comment before I did. I just read like the last little bit there and I was like, yep, I deleted it. So, who is Raid? Why is Raid? Where is Raid? How is Raid? I have questions. To what extent is Raid? I have a lot of questions. I'm gonna let it cook. I'm gonna let it cook. Murasaki Bunny, welcome on in.
んたみたいな小娘が演目を決めるなんて10年早いよ。
Oh.
なんて
おーだやろうよ。ビシッバシッズババーって。
おおあんたみたいな小娘が演目を決めるなんて10年早いよ。
生意気を言う子には罠んかかったウサギに肉はお預けやぞ。
Oh.
セカラスか。
リリアナ、
なんばすっとか。
お父さんお母さんは勝手にしたらええでないの。私は東海さ行くだ。今に見さらせ。銀融王に私はなる。
Oh. Oh. Oh, Lillianna. Oh no. Oh no. Monkey Lillianna. But legitimately, when someone sets a goal like that, that's huge. But we're also not seeing, like, you know, at least so far, if these are like, you know, parents or mom and, you know, boy toy or whatever, right? Boyfriend or whatever. I'm not seeing anything major that would be described as a red flag. So I'm kind of worried. I'll be honest. I'm kind of worried. Because so far, I'm not seeing anything that would highlight like a big red flag. Like, this is Trauma City. Welcome to Trauma City. Trauma, right? Like, I'm not seeing anything major like this. Can they be strict a little bit? Sure, right? What parent wouldn't want to go ahead and shape a child in some way, shape, or form? But are we seeing anything that's like an immediate call to action? No, right? I'm just scared. I'm just scared. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh no. Oh. Whew.
騒ぐな。わらわの首飾りの返礼高くつく。なるほど。自分にとって価値のあるものに傷を肩代わりさせるのですか。
Oh God. Oh God, that's kind of OP. That's kind of OP. But I want you guys to imagine something really sad for a second here. Imagine someone, for whatever reason, Priscilla really pulled substitution magic, right? Imagine somebody just coming through and consistently doing damage to Priscilla to the point where there's nothing left where she can substitute damage to. First off, OP ability. But second off, how sad and tragic could that be? My mind's immediately going into like extreme sadness now. To when she has to lose what she cares. Yeah, yeah.
それはとても傲慢なあり方。アイリスとイバラの王も真っ青ですね。他人の過去を漁る浅ましき輩よ。その暁に万死であってもあがなえぬ。そう怒らないでください。 憤怒だなんてこの世で最も忌むべき感情。人の心は常に喜びで満たされているべきなのです。だから私は剣能によって皆の狂気を
Oh yeah.
共感して心で通じ合ってもらう。それこそが相互理解、愛の第一歩なのです。
Not necessarily, Wrath. Let's take this a step forward, right? Love and joy are two very separate emotions. People can hate each other but still love each other, right? And love comes in many different shapes or standings. You're talking about mutual understanding being one of the first steps towards love, but communication is really that first step. And if you're not allowing people to communicate with one another in a way which people have to use their own words, their own actions, then you're taking the liberty of making false love. Wrath, we're going to have a conversation here.
バカなんですか？
はい。
周囲の方々が見えてますか？これで分かり合ったとおっしゃるんで教官が呼び込んだあるべき姿だと気持ち悪いんですよ。本気で誰かと分かち合いたいなら黙って私の歌を聴きやがれってなもんです。
I mean, that's like communication, probably mutual understanding instead of the singing song. Wait a minute. Lillianna, wait a minute. Cook her ass, but also wait a minute. Woo!
いよいよ地金を出したな。あ、都合の悪いことを黙らせんとした。わらわではなく、この歌目に通用せなんだ。
Twitter, new anime users coming into the community and trying to go ahead and spill your own thoughts and ideologies onto anime instead of letting a story talk for itself. This one's for you. Oh, no, no, no.
いよいよ地金を出したな。あ、都合の悪いことを黙らせんとした。 わらわではなくこの歌目に通用せなんだがよほど答えたか。いやそんなバカなことを私がそんな衝動に身を任せたことなんて。貴様は今耳心地の悪い言葉を聞いた。故に激高した。ただそれだけの安い。
Fucking cook them, Priscilla. Your cheap wrath is worth more than that. That is so fucking base, dude. That is so fucking base. My God, I gotta back it up to hear that again. I mean, it's true though. It's true. Oftentimes, a lot of people hide behind the emotions of wrath, right? Out of mutual understanding, we have to. And I hate the fact when people try and go and say we have to be mutually empathetic or you have to be an empath. No one in this world is born an empath, right? People have the skill of empathy and grow their skill of empathy, but you also have to stay outside of echo chambers where people can criticize you in a free environment, not in a way that's like supposed to roast you or be like stupid, but in a way that actually allows you the opportunity to grow, right? And people are just uncomfortable with situations like this. I love how Priscilla's calling her out like this. This is fucking base, dude. Yeah, she doesn't need magic to burn her. She's already doing it herself.
故に激高した。ただそれだけの安い憤怒よ。私とあの人の憤怒、そんな安いバカでもあるの。憤怒は私が夫からあの人からもらった唯一無二の贈り物。夫から献上されたのが怒りだけとは笑わせる。わらわは8人の夫を持ったが。
Can I be husband number 9? I'll give you the side D. That's a very intellectual joke, guys. You will die. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But also 8 husbands? How young was she when she got married? How young was she when she got married?
あの人からもらった唯一無二の贈り物。夫から献上されたのが怒りだけとは笑わせる。 わらわは8人の夫を持ったが、どれもわらわの気を引くために次から次へと物をよこしたぞ。8人。私がたった一人のあの人と心から結ばれるのに、こんなに一生懸命時を費やしているのに、己の魅力のなさをわらわのせいにするでない。その分じゃと貴様に思われる哀れな男とやらも貴様を見ているか怪しいものよな。私とあの人は深く愛し合って
Damn! Talk about OP, and even the way that she's moving, right? The way that Tanoha and don't go on Desperado for Priscilla, but even the way that she's moving, like Wrath, it's like you can really tell that like she's just ramping up and fucking like going ballistic, right? Like she's lost all of her cool and like, you know, her ability to go ahead and bring people in. She's just going at it, man. And once you start losing like this, it's GG's. So that was a kill shot. That would have been an absolute kill shot times 3, bro. That broke the other two and the, ooh. Ooh.
貴様の相手など片手間。わらわの行いに口出しするでないわ。不細工な焼き討ちよ。わらわが炎のパイオニアとして手本を見せてやろう。
No way, bro. She just took control of the flames? No fucking... How OP is Priscilla? How OP is Priscilla? Like, this is some sicko shit, dude. Like, it literally just goes through and takes care of the flames and turns them into her son. That's... Color me fucking impressed. She's the wheel of control.
舞台は整えた。せいぜいわらわを教示させよ。
合点承知。ちょっとはしただけでこの消耗。私この街で楽しすぎました。これも全部何もかも切り高さんや皆さんのせいですよ。
Ooh.
だからこそここでくじけるわけにはいかんで。
I believe in you, Priscilla.
一体の大舞台ってやつですよ。
Two people in the background.
竹を全部ぶちまけてやろうじゃありませんか。さあさあ、遠からい人は音に聞け、近い人は踊りも見ろ。もっと遠い人にはもっと大きい声を出すからそれを聞け。女リリアナ・マスカレード、歌って奏でて踊ります。引きさらせ、朝焼けを追い越したら。
Okay. Okay. Listen to her pain. What the fuck? Where are her parents? Where are her parents? Oh no. Oh no. Did she run away? Quite, or did her parents let her leave? That's a real question. Either way, this is trauma center, right? Central, rather well said. Regardless of the choice, because ultimately, yeah, because a little bit of both. Because ultimately, it even though like she's still a child, right? It can equate to neglect, and it can equate to that anxiety and the anxious attachment style and everything that we had touched on previously coming into fruition, and even past that. Like, my God, dude, would have tracked her down. Exactly, exactly. You think that the parents would come after her in some capacity, and that's why I'm like straight down to the bottom of the pyramid, straight down to anxiety being like being in a survival state, and anxiety being at an all-time high. I'm looking at this, and all of a sudden I'm understanding what we worked on earlier. I'm looking at her, and I'm all of a sudden, this is just fuck, dude. That's a lot for a kid. I'm so glad you made this board for this episode. I, yeah, I'm looking at this, and I'm surprised at the amount of like trauma that this can be for any child, for any individual going through something like this. Oh. She's just eating everything. Oh. Her first coin. Oh. Oh. Bro, this is. And I know some people might find this, and we're probably looking at this, and they're like, this episode, this background that we're seeing is all like filler or something, right? This is all trauma, dude. This is what's literally like, yes, she's going on this adventure and whatnot, but fight or flight state. A lot of people didn't call it that. I can see that, but this is impacting our characters 100%. All of this is nothing but a trauma-filled like source for this character, right? Who's trying to fit in, who's trying to fight for her money and 1,001 things. This is like I'm tearing up because I'm like in my field I get to work a lot with individuals and with families, and sometimes families that neglect their kids, and you see runaways, and kids go through some of the hardest and wildest stuff that you can imagine, and they're trying to piece themselves back together as adults and understand where they're going, and what it means for them. Like, how do they justify what has happened to them when they were younger, when they didn't have that control in their life? And it's a lot. Like, it's oof. Exactly. So even when people doubted her and all. Stop. Stop. So the parents. Oh. Any form of good parents will look for their child. Luster Candy says a tap-based tweet with Lillianna's parents passing and carrying a baby. You may wonder if they looked high and low for their only daughter after she left, but I think they probably didn't. Not because they didn't love her, because they're the kind of folk who think once you've chosen your path, you're big enough to walk it. If you want to give up being a bard and become a baker, that's fine too. The same go. No, it like usually any form of caring parent, a caring parent, a parent that loves you in some capacity is going to try and find you, right? Because ultimately Liliana was too young to have left, right? Hence why whenever we look at and I understand in different cultures and whatnot, everyone has a different age of maturity, 100%, right? But nonetheless, caring parents will still come after you. The caring parents will still try and say hi. Caring parents will at least ensure the fact that you have your basic needs met to go ahead and survive. None of this was happened to her. A kid running away isn't the same as choosing your own path. None of this was chosen for her. She could have died 10 times, 100 times over. Too young to care for herself, too young to know what was good food or not. And all of a sudden, imagine being Liliana right now and seeing that your parents are happy with the new child that they've chosen, right? Imagine that all of a sudden, like, you see your parents walking through and they don't even have an idea as to who you are. You've been replaced. That anxiety starts skyrocketing. The family dynamics are now going through the ooh. Does she even have a family? That's the real questions to even ask at this point in time. Because when we're looking at this, we're looking at genes and family and whatnot. She's pretty much lost everything. She's not in that green zone. Oof. Oof.
これぞ歌に寄り添い歌と共に生きる金融詩人のあり方胸が弾みますよ弾むほどありませんが言うなら
No hero.
こんな時は死なないもんですよそう英雄なら私は
Oh.
英雄じゃない
Oh.
だってレイドやフリューゲルなら
Guys, remind me the team that sealed up the witch. Remind me the team that sealed up the witch. The hero, the dragon, and the sage. So I'm guessing Raid is, as you guys have mentioned, like a sword saint or something. Hero. So then is Flugel the sage, and the dragon's the dragon? I'm looking at this and like, this is, wow. 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 You will not kill my ally.
こんなことにはならない私はあの人たちの物語を勝手にみんなに伝えるだけのただの盗人だだったら金融詩人って
Oh. 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 What is a sage? What is legacy, Liliana? What is your legacy? Oh. This scene, though. I want want you guys to think about water as renewal, right? As rebirth, oftentimes used in media, right? She was dying time and time again, or she was on the verge of death so many times, purifying even. Yeah, absolutely something positive. And in a big way, you know, she's coming anew. That's crazy. Honestly, I'm looking at this in the little storytelling elements in here of like, wow, wow. The amount of trauma that Lillianna has gone through is insane. For someone her age, right? For a kid going through all of that, from family not even checking in for her, replacing her, all the different thoughts and feelings she must have gone through, to trying to go ahead and get her first coin to try and feed something, to being on the verge of death through like falling off a bridge and starvation and running from a mob beast and all the 1,001 things. Like, she literally cracked all the way down. She literally cracked all the way down, and now that she's here and she's able to get some water in this like baptism, purification, you know, restart per se, is wow, wow. Wow. Oh. Oh. Whew. I got fucking goosebumps, guys. Oh. Oh, the feeling of gratitude, yeah. Holy shit. Tasnemo, come on in. Yep. I want to touch on this because music, and you know, in this aspect, singing and music and whatnot, is such a primal thing for a lot of us. Like, music can really enable a lot of feelings and stuff to come out in ways that like we can barely even begin to understand. And I'm glad that there's more studies being done into music. In case you guys haven't seen it or haven't even come into it, there's a couple studies and a couple big interest where individuals did some studies on the impact of music on individuals with dementia and Alzheimer's, and being able to see how music is able to bring some people from having that are in deep Alzheimer's back into the light for just a couple minutes, or 10-20 minutes from them talking, you know, being present and whatnot before reverting back, is some of the most powerful things out there that I guess really showcases how music can transcend a lot of things. Yeah, it's powerful stuff, guys. Oh.
歌声は独り占めにすべきではない。歌姫は皆に、リリアナは僕に、そう願ってはいけませんか。
Oh, oh, this guy.
リリアナよ、僕の歌姫よ。あなたの歌声はすべての人を幸せにできる。
Divine blessing of telepathy. Oh.
やはりあれを見込んだわらわの目は確かであったな。あれのバカさは小気味よい。愚かとバカは似て非なるものよ。愚か者に生きる価値はないが、バカには愉快という取り柄がある。あれはその上、愉快以上の価値を己で証明してみせた。よってその働きに褒美を与える。砕けて前好きだ。ペーペンなんかいね
What the fuck, bro?
わらわのものになんとする。お前もだこっち。
No way. Oh no, I was about to say no way.
貴様。
Top tier shit, guys.
大義である。笑わせるな。分かり合い溶け合うことが人の望みだ。ヒップメガ。
Cinema man.
違うな。愛とは違ってもいいと寛容に受け入れることよ。皆が皆同じ方向を見て同じように思う。同じように感ずるなど無しずが走る。終わりじゃ。さあどうかしら。この少女哀れむ心、それこそがあなたの心に芽生えた。くどい。
It's Tina again, but also, my God, dude. My God. Like, Priscilla's perfection. Priscilla's wonderful. Priscilla's... Oh my God, bro. The hair down on Priscilla and all of this stuff. Wow. Wow. The resolve. Wow. Woo.
わらわの要件は焼きたいものを焼き、切りたいものを切る。
That's what I wanted to cut.
私の痛みをあなたは知ったことか。
Oh.
貴様は妄言を抱えたまま一人きりで死ぬがいい。
Is that game? Is the Archbishop of Wrath done? Wait, is that game? Is that GG? Is that GG? Holy fuck, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because that means that's 2 down. That means that that's just 2 down if that's GG. She packed her up, that's it? Oh. Oh. I hope so.
日照が終わり、日輪が陰ったか。悪運の強い俗悪め。騒がしき夜に騒がしき連中。
Nosy droves in the noisy
この
night.
場にこそ歌の出番であろうに。怠慢以外の何者でもない。
Oh.
つまらぬことよ。じゃが悪くはなかった。褒めて使わす。
And again, we see her in water. I just want you guys to conceptualize like the beauty of these scenes, right? Like it's like death and rebirth of her in a big way, right? In a similar way where it's come full circle. And again, for most people, her falling, they think she's dead, and yet she's in the water in a similar way where she was previously. Rebirth, re-going through it, amazingness. The way that this story is being told, fucking fabulous. What a way to like bring it back full circle.
そろそろ限界ですかね。いろいろありましたが、総合的に楽しい人生でした。リリアンナ
Hey, but now she has like somebody that like is willing to go ahead and jump in for her, you know?
大丈夫かいリリアナ。
キリタカさん、土下してたんですか？
アジュに追われ錯乱して逃げ惑ってた。
Oh,
君の歌で我に返った。
それはキリタカさんも随分な集大を。
リリアナリリアナ。
今私すごく眠たいんでちょっと寝ます。もう本当限界。
don't worry, I won't die. Oh, jeez.
リリアナ。
これは直接言うつもりはないけれど、あなたの歌姫で。
My God, guys, my God. What a beautiful way of really conceptualizing the importance of, you know, what she's gone through, the amount of trauma, because she's gone through quite a lot. She's gone through what I think most people would be afraid to go through, like the amount of trauma, the amount of everything that she's gone through, and she's still willing and still able to go ahead and, you know, try and sing her song. And she might have been in fight or flight for a good portion of her life, but she was still there. Yeah, cinema, absolute fucking cinema, and absolute cinema, the way that it showcased like the cyclical nature of things, right? Wow. She was an abandoned child, yeah. I really hope that people didn't think that this entire episode was just a filler episode, and that they really took into consideration the amount of like everything that came through. My God, like I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think we really hit the nail on the head with this. I think we actually did really, really good with this. Like, you know, in terms of like love and belonging, like some of the like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking at this, I'm like, I think we did pretty good. I mean, one of the major antagonists was taken out. It's not over yet, and so I'm pretty sure we'll see more to come. No, I know that there's a past there's an after credit scenes, but I'm just saying, like, looking at this, especially for Lillianna, I think we did pretty good. The amount of trauma that she had and this entire aspect of power and control. My main thing is people are saying, oh, well, she chose her own path. Does a child have power and control in their life to be able to go ahead and survive on their own? No. So we can't expect individuals to go ahead and go out there and start surviving and forming their own thing. She was a kid. Those parents needed to step up and say something and try and care for them, right? That's the main regards with it. Is she almost died time and time again, and even power and control was the environment that was completely coming after her. It was wild. It's wild. Like, her environment was against her for the most part. Everyone and everything was against her, and it's amazing to see sort of this entire resolution to this. There are more than one baddie to take out right now, and of course they're going to focus on finishing other fights. Oh.
滞在司教の名前は俺の故郷の星の名前と一緒だ。
Oh.
で、その剣能も星の名前の語源と関係してる。
Oh.
ペーテルギウスの語源はジャウザーの手、つまり見えざる手だ。でもって獅子座を意味するレグルスの語源は小さな王と、あともう一つ
Little King.
コルレオニス。獅子の心臓って意味だ。お前の剣能は無敵化じゃなく、時間停止じゃねえか。体の時間が止まってるってことは変化しないってことだ。怪我もしないし水に濡れたりもしない。投げた砂、飛ばした水も時間が止まってるから。あのさ、君の考えがどうとか全然興味がないんだけど、聞くだけ無駄だったよ。本当にさ。
To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that he's like, you're violating my rights. Don't you understand that the only person that is able to go ahead and have any of this knowledge is me? You're not even worth the violation. And like, just start going on a fucking monologue about why this fucking peasant named Subaru shouldn't have any of this knowledge and why it's a violation of his rights to even be like... I would expect like a 30-minute episode of just Regulus talking about Subaru violating his rights at some point in time. That would have been great. He probably has felt threatened for the first time in forever. Oh, it does take up. He does do something like... You know what? Yeah. Woo!
小さな王が君臨する花嫁たちの小さな王国。レグルスの剣能にも必ず制限があるはず。花嫁の人数か距離、何らかの条件が必ず。頼むぜエミリア、花嫁たちを小さな王国から連れ出してくれ。
I had a feeling. And a majority of you guys said the wives have probably nothing to do with it. I had a feeling, man. The entire thing has to be connected, where his wives are like, you know, definitely have an impact to him, right? Otherwise, why would he keep trying to collect them all like Pokemon? Like, I had like the entire time I was like, yeah, so this probably has something to. I kept saying it, and you guys were like, no, you're just not understanding it, Ed. Yeah, you need to dig in deeper, Ed. You're not seeing, you know, his true capacity. And I'm like, huh. But many reactors still don't understand Subaru. Really? So many reactors don't even understand Subaru explaining the authority. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, chat. Indeed. No. We weren't gaslighting. Regulus gotta catch them all, the true Pokemon master. But overall, my God, I love ReZero. I fucking love ReZero. The storytelling in this is phenomenal, and the way that it's all being highlighted in this is like absolute key, right? Absolutely amazing in the way that everything is being brought back into the fray, and the way that things are cyclical, and yet they maintain psychological depth. Like, the fact that they maintain psychological depth showcases everything. The author knows a lot about these characters and writes them realistically in a way, right? That's huge. And that's important to go out and understand that, like, all these characters are written in a way where they impact one another, and it's not just Reinhardt or Isekai Man gets OP as fuck and gets his own harem. Like most isekais are, right? This is more along the lines of like, hey, we're really seeing people struggle together and come together through their struggles to make a better life. That is the beautiful aspects of things. And this is just a beautiful summation of the different characters that we've done and how we've touched on certain things. Honestly, what an extremely powerful and beautiful episode. What would you guys rate this out of 10? I would probably rate this in... I'm lucky my parents didn't abandon me as a child out of 10. Phenomenal episode. Would recommend again. I would strongly suggest people to 6, 8 out of 10. I would strongly recommend people to like not just completely dismiss this as filler, but take this in for the character development that it is. Because it is about character development. And it has showcased beautifully the impact of Lillianna and others in this episode. Anyway, with that being said, if you guys like the analysis at the beginning of the episode, the reaction throughout it, this is a beautiful episode. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, come and join us on Twitch every Friday. We'll tend to go ahead and do one of these live, and that way you guys get to be a part of some of the analysis and the discussions that we have in here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Here's some hearts. YouTube, I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, my friends. Oh, break time. Oh, shit. Apparently there was a break time. Hold on. We're gonna put the break time in here. Also, shout out to Andrew for or Otaku Spirit for quickly putting this up on his Twitter. So after the break time, we'll go and finish up. YouTube, you get a little bit extra here. Hold on. Here we go.
貴様何故背など丸めておる
魔女教ですよ。大司教ですよ。
それがどうした
What's up with them? Yeah.
わらわを誰と心得るそれを忘れて怯えるなどとゲイであろうがヒーローロマンタン歌め何故に歌う
いきなりです。
I love you, Priscilla. Thank you. You're asking some of the questions that I've been asking. Thank you, Priscilla.
でもそれは使命ってやつでしょうか。
ならば誰ぞのメイで歌うとでも
いえ、それは。
ふむ質問を変える歌め何故にここで歌っていた貴様は本来寝なし草であろう
ですです。
どこで歌おうと貴様の自由ではあるがここを選ぶのには理由がある
Priscilla's doing the tactics.
それじゃ口ごもった貴様の一番最初に思い浮かんだものそれがここに残った理由よ
そうですね。言うならば私の歌を求められたからです。
だがその程度貴様の歌なら珍しくあるもん
I might have the world's biggest crush on Priscilla right now. I might have the world's biggest crush on Priscilla right now. She's asking all the questions. She's asking all the right questions, ladies and gentlemen. Like, wait, doesn't that sounds like a lot, right? Like, honestly, it sounds like quite a bit to be needed that much. So what does this mean for you, right? Like, Priscilla might have invented a fanboy.
ずっと歌ってくれって永遠に聴かせてくれってそう言われたんです。プリシラ様、私は銀融詩人です。申し上げた通りいずれは風に流れて再び流浪する旅人の身であります。そんな銀融詩人にとって歌を永遠に求められることは愛の告白より重たいものです。
Legacy. Their songs being needed forever is even weightier than the confession of love. Legacy. Memes. Songs, guys. Oh my god.
そんな目さられたらいけません。私には妻も子も
I have a child and the wife. Wait. Wait.
重たいものです。そんな目さられたらいけません。私には妻も子も
たわけ
生きててすみません。
問答の意味はあった大義である
次に褒めていただくほどでは。ひらめきました。聞いてください。
たわけ
いいかい。
まだじゃんおとなしく歌の出番を待て
わかりました。ところで、本当に二人だけで行くのでしょうか。
Oh.
誰と心得る
天下のプリシラ様でござります。
それでよい
Oh. Beautiful interaction. Beautiful little break time that showcases them traveling together and really reaffirming them. Honestly, absolutely insane. Absolutely beautiful. I can't recommend it enough. I can't recommend ReZero enough. Or the child. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls on YouTube, guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed your stay here. You guys are amazing, and I love doing this for you guys because every single time it's a phenomenal opportunity to go ahead and put some quality analysis content out there, reaction analysis content out there that isn't going to get paywalled behind the Patreon or something like that. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed your stay in YouTube. Come over and join us every Friday, man. Like any thoughts, patterns, whatnot, this is what allows for a really good discussion on these characters. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, that whole ordeal, and I'll see you guys next time.